welcome to week 8 Residence Breathers. Congratulations for making it this far. There's only 2 weeks left to go. So this week we're going to be talking about the imprinting or the anchoring of the physiological states of success. So imagine you wake up in the morning and breakfast is made for you. Your perfect outfit's laid out. When you leave for work, all the lights are green and there's no traffic. So getting the conditions right for ease and flow have always been just at your fingertips, and it kind of feels like everything's already set in your favor. This week, we're gonna be working on the physiological sensations of success, so your body is primed for the conducive conditions for you to experience the outcome you desire. Through this week's residence training, you're gonna work on getting in tune with the emotional states that support you in the best ways.
So when I was young, I remember I was going to Sunday school at the time, and this was pretty much my first experience with a chalkboard. I guess at this age, in the early 90s or whatever, everybody had moved to whiteboards. Yeah, so I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but everybody had moved to whiteboards, but at Sunday school, they're still using chalk. And so I remember my first time hearing that screech across the chalkboard. It's like just like nails going across, and it just gave me goosebumps. I remember that I really liked that. Actually, it didn't feel good, but I liked the feeling of like getting the goosebumps. So I kept on doing it over and over again, like just in my head after hearing it. And unbeknownst to me, I had imprinted this, the physiological sensations of getting goosebumps. And I started doing that to myself, like all the time. But similarly to that personal experience that I had, we can all imprint the physiological sensations within us, and we can trigger that response in our body. And so like the mind doesn't know the difference between like what's going on inside the mind and what's going on outside in the body, in the world. So like you can visualize, but the best types of visualizations happen when you really put yourself in that immersive experience. And what I mean by that is you really get the 5 senses going. Like, what are the sounds that you'd be hearing? What are the smells that you'll be smelling? What are the tastes that you'd be tasting? And what would you be seeing, right? So a lot of times we just focus on the seeing part, but there's more senses than that. And that's how we get deeper with these physiological responses, is that we can capture those moments. We'll get more into that later. So our brain isn't always able to distinguish between what's happening in the mind and what might be happening in the body. We can use that fact to our advantage as we tap into a heart-centered version of mind over matter. So it's not like we're forcing ourselves to get things, to do things, to do more, or to force an outcome. We start with the heart, and then we get the physiological sensations, we get those feelings, we get those emotions, and then we can step into what we need to do. What if we could really tap into the feelings and emotions we experience during the time that we performed at our absolute best? The feeling of the air, the smells, the sounds, the sensations in the body. We can learn to prime our brain to pick up on that moment, and that's what we're going to be doing this week. It won't just be a visualization like I mentioned earlier. You'll be feeling the inevitability to that success in your heart and imprinting it there, and growing that feeling so you can fully experience it on command. Where the mind goes, the body follows, and the heart has all the cues to take the mind wherever it needs to go. Let's work on conditioning the body to support you in becoming the most conducive for your success. You'll learn how to minimize uncertainty and to capture the physiological experience of success. Just put it in a bottle. What's a goal that you want to accomplish in the next month? Go ahead and pull up the worksheet and get set up with that worksheet. Either you're going to print it out or do whatever you usually do. It's going to ask you for your goal. So go in there and figure out whether that's going to be personal, professional, family, social, physical health, and let's get into it. So I invite you to relax into your heart in this moment, and we're going to just kind of go over what it would be like. All right, so in this moment, I'm going to ask you to relax into your heart, into your body, and really tune into your emotions. To start flooding your heart with what it would feel like after you've achieved your goal. Like, what do you feel? Feel examples could be energy, enthusiasm, creativity, pride, relief, accomplishment, confidence, clarity, and drive. Write out 3 emotions that you will experience when you accomplish your goal. These will be anchors and the heart imprints that we'll use to change our physiological response. Let go of what sounds perfect. I invite you to just place both hands on your heart and just close your eyes. Really allow yourself to ask your heart, what will it feel like after I've achieved my goal? And then one at a time, allow each of those emotions to just sit with you, as if it were pulling up a chair at a dinner table. And you just spend some time with it, explore the energy of the emotion, and get to know it. You can spend 10 seconds, 1 minute, or however long you feel comfortable. Then invite the next one, and then the next one. And just sit. Really allow yourself to explore the depths of that. The goal here is to let your heart come alive and really feel those emotions, really giving yourself the space to connect with the fullness of your own emotion. As you do this, you're pulling the future emotional payoff into the present. You are defining how you want to feel and allowing your body to associate with a direct, clear, and specific sense of certainty. Heads up, this won't be easy for most of us. It most definitely wasn't natural for me. There's something called cognitive resistance that happens when you're in a state of incoherence, and your brain is doubting what you're about to do. So there's some older version of you that might be saying, wait, let's hang on, we don't know if this is gonna work. At least we don't know for sure. And I say, that's okay. I say that's okay. That part of you is there for a reason. I think just really allowing yourself to acknowledge that can really help you calm down your nervous system, and eventually you'll build the confidence and the skill of tapping into the emotional payoff before it happens. A lot of times we try to fight and resist or shut down and minimize those types of feelings, but they just get more pressure and they come out in other ways. In fact, the best thing you can do to attract something into your field is if you're already set up for it to be there. And so when you can set up that emotional payoff to be there clearly without all the other noise, then you're already in the state that's most aligned to what you're trying to achieve. So if that's confidence, success, and pride in maybe losing, 15 pounds or something, then, 15 pounds in 1 month is probably not reasonable. So like 5 pounds. But yeah, if you can get aligned with that state, the feelings of confidence and pride, and having already done it, it's gonna make it way easier to get it done as you go through every day, every hour. And we can get there. So that's what this week's gonna be all about. That's basically manifesting, but we can talk about that another day. Let me know in the comments below if you've had good experience with manifesting, or you've been curious to know about it, what you'd be curious about. I guess I'll share a little bit about manifesting for myself. I recently had an intention of manifesting overwhelming support from friends and family, people I don't know, and I already thought I had a great support system and people who are really supportive in my life, but when I really clearly intentionalized that, I think it just really opened me up to all the things that were there already, but allowing me to receive it. Because a lot of times we know things are there, but we're not ready to receive it. And what I mean by that is, say somebody gives you $10 and you're like, no, I don't need your money. But it's like, what if you're manifesting support and that person was trying to show you support by giving you $10 for whatever reason? So, well, a good example I have of that is somebody in my accountability group, they didn't do what they're supposed to do, and they said that they would pay everybody $10 in the case that they did it. And it's easy for me to be like, oh, I don't need your $10, like keep it. Or $10 doesn't mean that much to me. But what I've been trying to manifest is support, and so I have to be able to receive that. And so I did have the initial reactions like, oh, I don't need your $10, but I was like, I'll take the $10 and I'll take it as support. And so things start showing up in different ways that we wouldn't normally see it, and then we can really allow ourselves to receive what we're trying to manifest. Okay, so some likely experiences we're going to be having during week 8. I mean, you've already completed 7 weeks, so you've got a fair bit of experience with the types of setbacks that you might experience in this training, and you've already toughed it out and made it this far. Week 8 is really the home stretch. Week 9 is pretty chill. Week 10 is pretty chill. But week 8 is just the last bit of extra effort that you're really going to want to put in to seal a deal. This is a really important week. For me, at least it was, and for other people I know too. So it's probable that you're going to feel uncomfortable with the level of uncertainty while doing some of these exercises. Like is this going to work? Or doubt in your ability to reach the goals. You've already tried everything that you've wanted to try so far and nothing's worked out. Don't worry about it. You're feeling the ways that you feel for a reason, but you just keep processing what you feel, but also allowing the new emotions or the new practice to bring in those existing emotions in. So of course, this all comes back to allowing yourself to feel more and more comfortable with creating a space to connect with yourself. It's okay to acknowledge that things are difficult, and it's normal to experience that while learning a new skill. Let yourself chill out instead of getting agitated over it. Soon the imprints you set will become the baseline levels from where you're responding from. You get a bigger buffer to deal with stressful situations and the resilience to really be with the stress without being overcome by it. Connect with your future heart states throughout the day, just like every other week where we're just really trying to intermix the practice with our day. One thing that I can say that I do personally that's been really helpful, maybe it'll be helpful for you, is before I eat, I just take a moment to tap into that energetic state. So I take a few breaths to help myself get calm. And then what I'll usually do is I'll slowly bring up each emotion and allow myself to feel it. And then I'll connect into the goal. And then I will think about the food and all the contributions that food has received so that I can receive it, and how that food is going to support me and my goals. And then that way, it's really just like tying like this food that I'm going to imbibe into my body with the goal, with the emotion, with the intent, and it's pretty grounding. So if you don't have a way to interlace your training throughout the day, you eat at least 3 times a day, so that might be something helpful for you. The last thing I'll mention is music. Music is really, really helpful for creating different effects on your mood. Like if you watch a horror movie versus if you watch Batman, you're gonna feel like a sense of like suspense and thrill versus like a sense of like empowerment that, I don't know, Batman might feel in certain moments. We can use this to help shift your resonant state and even trigger you before an event to feel and connect into the learned and trained state that is associated with music, with that song. So that brings us to schema memory. Schema memory is a memory that's associated with a network of associations tied to a trigger, or like a group of cues that's tied to a specific trigger. So maybe you hear a theme song for Jurassic Park and it's associated with adventure and wonder and maybe some suspense. We can tie this into our training by choosing a song that has something to do with what we want to feel and use it during our resonance sessions. Soon that song will be a special song and you won't want to hear it just like randomly throughout the day, but really just specifically for the intent of connecting you back into what you want to do. So, I mean, state-dependent memory is the memories that are encoded during certain states that can be easily recalled from that same state as when it was encoded. And so we're going to want to pick a song, let's say, maybe you're doing a physical fitness goal, so Eye of the Tiger could be your priming song. It could be Clocks by Coldplay. One of the songs, I mean, I have a lot of songs for different things, but like Eminem's a good song for me. Eminem, Soldier. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different songs that you can use for specific things. Then also like scents, right? So in boxing, for instance, the smell of Vaseline is one of the smells that I anchored in and use as a trigger to associate with a sparring match or a fight. And so one thing that you can do is, if you're a boxer, you could just get some Vaseline out and you can smell it as you go into resonant state. And then when you smell it when you're about to fight or something, that will help prime you for your resonant state and the emotions that you have that are triggered to be associated with that Vaseline. I mean, for a powerlifter or rock climber, it can be chalk. I mean, there's tons of examples. So this week, all you're going to need to do is just lace in the last 5 minutes of your resonance training twice a day for getting into your goal and the 3 emotions that are associated with it. Check out the worksheet. It's going to have all the breakdowns on what to focus on this week. I would say the most important thing to do is just really sitting with those 3 emotions that you want to feel that's associated with the goal and getting that familiarity with it so that you can recall it as you think about your goal. And that's really going to help you imprint the physiological sensations of success. Hope to see you next week. If you have any questions, drop a comment in the comment section below and check out the next videos that are coming out, and I'll see you then.